Hi, this is Bobby Kimbrough, and welcome to Off the Cuffs. I'm excited today to have with me Michelle and Kylie. You know, so many times we talk about violence in our community. So many times we talk about the things that are happening in our community. We see it on the news, we see it in the paper, but rarely do we see the faces of those that are affected. I just want to basically lay the groundwork to how we ended up here. Last week, I was at work, and I heard the call come out that gunshots had been fired in one of our neighborhoods inside the city. And as I sit there a little while, I kept writing because so many times we get used to and we start to expect and we start to accept the things that are happening in our community. And so many times I said before is that when we start to accept some things, you can start to expect them. And when you expect them, you accept them. We've got to stop expecting and we got to stop accepting. And so I heard the details of the report that a young baby had been hit by one of the shots. And it bothered me so bad, it angered me. I left work and went directly to the hospital. And when I got there, I met your mother and your sister, and you all stayed on my mind for so long. And so I said that I wanted to meet you all, and I wanted to do that because when I came by the house, I saw a baby that had been affected by a gunshot wound. She'll never forget that. And so I said, you know something, I'm going to invite you all to be on Off the Cuffs because I want people to see the face of a gunshot victim. I want them to see so many times we hear it, but we don't really connect to it. So here we are. I want to invite you, Kylie, for being here with me. And I want to invite your mother, Michelle, for being here as well on the podcast with us. So welcome to Off the Cuffs.
Thank you for having us.
I appreciate you being here. So here's what I want to do. I know that day started out probably like a typical day for you at home with your kids. They're playing, and all of a sudden, your total life disrupted by that. And so I know you and I were talking at the apartment. You were talking about how you were sitting in the house, and all of a sudden, you came outside, and what you witnessed, it terrified you, and you'll never forget that. So, you know, I thank God that Kylie survived that gunshot wound. But tell me something. How has that affected your life? How has it affected your sanctity of being at home and hearing the gunshots? Tell me how. I want people to know how you have been affected by that.
Well, you know, it's very traumatic. You know, my daughter, she'll be looking outdoors and see people walk by, she'll point like, oh, they look like the people, or see a car, like, oh, they look like the car. She can't bend over, can't tie her shoes and stuff.
Where was she hit at?
She was hitting her back. It went in her back and out her right side.
I don't want to see it, Kylie, but thank you anyway. It'll make me cry if I see that.
And like loud noises,
mm-hmm.
We all jump, get startled. Like we back to day one, about to go in panic mode. And, you know, it's
been a game changer.
Yeah, it definitely has. And we just taking it one day at a time, trying to get her back normal, feeling like things normal.
So, Kylie, how are you feeling now, darling? How are you feeling? Good. You all right? Okay. You don't hurt anymore?
No.
I'm glad to know that. You ready to go back to school? Okay. Are you mad at the people that shot you? Yeah. Well, you know what? I can understand you being mad. I'm mad at them too, because, you know, it could have been a lot worse, and thankful that God spared us. So let me ask you a question. So many times, you know, we hear about it, but when it knocks on your door, you know, when it's affecting you and yours, it's a different conversation. I'm sure prior to this, you've known many people that have been shot, or many people that have been involved in gun violence. But the fact of the matter that it landed on your doorstep has given you a totally different perspective.
Yeah, because I would have never imagined my 6-year-old having to experience something like this, or my kids, or anyone that I'm close with. And it can really happen to anyone, mine, yours, theirs. And these are kids.
And that's the part of it that upset me. We talking about a 6-year-old baby. A 6-year-old baby. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I want to scoot my chair up.
6 years old. You can slide it up if you want to. 6 years old, right? We come to accept some things in our community. We come to accept that, okay, violence. We're at a place where we kind of expect that. We've got to move away from expecting. We've got to move away from accepting it, because we cannot accept our babies being shot and injured. We can't. And so I'm asking that question. I'm asking a question. If you had a message and you wanted to say to not only just the mothers of the shooters, but just if you had a message you wanted to say to the community as it relates to the violence, what would you say?
I would say, let the kids be kids. If y'all see kids involved or anywhere around, just leave the kids out of it. Hug your kids, because it can be happening in the blink of an eye. People need to take responsibility and full accountability for it. I feel like they done took my baby childhood away.
So, Callie, let me ask you a question. So, where you go to school at, Callie? You were telling me, where you go to school at?
Speaks Elementary.
Speaks Elementary. What grade you in?
First.
You're in the first grade. Wow. I noticed that when you and I were talking, you said that you had a son. Your son is 8, right? Remember you said that. How has your son been affected by it?
He's holding on, but he's sad. I can tell he's feeling very sorry for her. That's his little sister. And he witnessed everything as well. Yeah, we going through it. We just,
yeah, so
pretty hard.
Yeah. So, I haven't asked a lot of questions about it because we're hopeful and prayerful that eventually the person that did it will, step up and be a man and say, hey, I made a mistake. And if not, then hopefully we'll find out. And so I stay away from the who, the what, and the whens and the whys. What I know is that it was senseless. What I know is that it could have been a lot worse than it is. But I'm so grateful that you all are here and sharing your story. So since that time, right, that has happened, what would you like to see happen from the community? What would you like to see the community do?
I would like to see the community, work together to try to stop this ruthless act, be more precautious, just get involved to make change, stop the violence, the gun violence. Days are short. People leaving every day.
So true.
Just love. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, especially with kids. Just let the kids be kids. We were all kids at one point, and we're here today. So, we just need to work together to just love each other. It's not worth it.
Most people can't even fathom what you went through. They see it on television, New Jack City or something. A kid goes to the playground, or kids at the playground, something, and shots fired or something like that. But we're talking about the innocence of a kid being disrupted. We're talking about the innocence of a kid taken away. So, Callie, anything you want to say, anything you want to talk about before we take it home?
No.
Okay. You're feeling better though, right?
Yeah.
I know that when I was by the house, when me and Major Gray came by there, you were walking a little slow. You walking better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to get back outside?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to forgive them, right? We're going to forgive the bad guy? Or let's say we're going to forgive the guy that made a bad decision. How about that? We're going to forgive them? Not just yet. We're going to think about it. We're going to pray about it. All right, we're going to think about it and pray about it, right? But here's what I hope, right? I hope that we come to a place in our community where we realize and value one another more than we value the act. I hope we come to a place and realize that this is a young 6-year-old girl that instead of sitting here having a conversation with her mother, her grandmother, and her auntie, we could actually be planning a funeral, which we have planned so many funerals in this community. I think that at some point, we've got to realize that life is more precious than what we're giving credit to. And so, again, I'm grateful that you decided to stop by. I'm grateful that you're here because so many times we see violence and we don't attach a face to it. We just read it in the paper. Oh, I don't know them. We see a name and we keep it moving. But when I heard that it was a baby, when I heard and saw it come across my phone that it was a 6-year-old child, I got angry all of a sudden. I got angry. And that is why I came by the hospital. I had no idea who you were, had never seen you and your family that I can recall in my life. But I knew that something has to be done. Something has to be done. And I hope that the people that see this, that are watching this, will share it and hope that we can make a difference. So I know you and I talked about doing some things in the community as it relates to making our community safer, our playground. We're going to work on that. So before we take it home, anything you want to say to me, anything you want to say before we go?
I appreciate you for having us here to get this message out. Hopefully people be aware and be, more precautious of what they're doing and the decisions they're making. And I appreciate everything you're doing for us. I really do.
I appreciate you all. I do. Kali, anything you want to say before we take it home? You don't want the last word?
No.
Okay, well, here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to touch and agree. We're going to bump and say we're stopping the violence, all right? Stopping the violence. That's what we're doing. Stop the violence. Stop the shooting. I want all the young men out there, you know what? Set your guns down. Just think about it. This could have been your sister. It could have been your child. It could have been your granddaughter. It could have been so many things. But luckily, God showed mercy and grace that day, and Kylie is still with us. Here's what I ask of the community is that so many times we know what's happening in our community, and we co-sign it. So many times we know and say nothing. We've got to start to say something because the police can't save us. I can't save us, but we can save us. We can save us. And we've got to realize that the damage that we're doing is non-reversible. We can't reverse what we're doing, but we can stop what we're doing, and we can stop the trajectory and start, let's save our lives. Let's save our children's lives, because at the end of the day, all we have is each other. And so I encourage you to stop the violence, set your guns down, talking to all the young brothers out there, the older brothers. Talk to the younger brothers and show them a different way that we can't eat our own and we can't kill our own. We're better than this. As always, I have enjoyed it. You all stopping by. This has been Bobby Kimbrough with Off the Cuffs. I love you. I love the community. And thank you for being a part of this conversation.